So last week, my husband Caleb and I went to the Philadelphia Art Museum. You know, the famous spot where Rocky stood on the steps in the movie. All those people lined up to take pictures with the statue. We went right on past them and went up into the museum. And it was really fantastic. I mean, we saw everything from paintings to glassware to whole rooms set up with furniture, just like it would have been in that time period. It was really amazing and beautiful. And we were wandering through, talking, pointing out what we appreciated. And then at this designated time at 2 o'clock, since it was during the holiday season, they had a special concert feature. At the designated time, we went out to the center where all of those columns are, where all of these people had gathered, lining the steps down to the floor and peering over the banisters, just in time to hear the program coordinator announce that St. Thomas African Choir, one of the oldest churches in Philadelphia and in the U.S., was about to sing. And they all filed out, just all dressed in beautiful, vibrant costume. And we listened as this choir broke forth in the most beautiful song, everyone singing in perfect harmony. It was gorgeous. And suddenly just this building that was all cold and filled with art was live and vibrant and glorious. And we listened to the most beautiful rendition of Lord, I Lift Your Name on High that I think I've ever heard in my life. Suddenly all of these people that were just kind of in their own individual bubbles walking around the museum were suddenly a part of this massive audience, watching this joyous expression, this beautiful energy from this choir. And it was like that space was suddenly turned into holy ground. This museum, this place where people were looking at the works of humans, turned into a place of worship. And it was so astounding to me what took place in that room, and how much my heart was moved as I watched and witnessed this glory of God, this praise of the Creator. And it started me thinking about all of these moments that we could just rush on by, all of these times when God just halts us, stops us right in our tracks and allows us to see Him, allows us to reflect, allows us to think, allows us to experience the glory of His Spirit. This next year, one of the things that I want to remember, one of the things I want to be intentional about, is experiencing God and stopping in those moments, not rushing on by. There were people there that this choir was singing and jumping and dancing with such joy and such energy, and they were walking on by, not even glancing. But then there were others that were sitting there on those steps, others that were clapping their hands, others that their faces were beaming as they watched this. I want to be one of those that stops in the moment, sits down, really does like Psalms 34 verse 8 says, that I taste and see that the Lord is good. So in 2012, I want to taste and see Him in all of these spaces where I might miss Him, in all of the conversations, in all of the moments, in those moments in a grocery store, in the bank, when I would be tempted to rush on by, to stop and to taste and see that the Lord is good in each and every experience and encounter. Would you join me this year in tasting and seeing what the Lord is doing, in watching out for those holy moments when we could stop and choose to be present?